a super interesting discussion.
Cool.
But here we go. Okay. So to switch gears, hello everybody. It's great to see you all. You can see some of you on camera and some not. Either way is fine. Today is to talk about our summer and fall questions. I know there's a lot of questions. So we wanted to, one, talk about what was going on, and two, just answer any questions you may have about that as good as we can at this moment. So I will just go ahead and get started. So first point, virtual or on-site. Summer is it will still have Zoom classes. And of course, for those hybrid students, we still have our full roster of online classes. And our summer classes, if anybody has questions about that, we'll do questions at the end, but they will all be on Zoom. However, as Edwin will talk about, the facilities will remain open for those who are coming in the summer to classes. Fall will have some classes on site. For those that are not entering the program right now, the classes that will be interesting for you if you want to take on-site classes again, which we're so excited to welcome you back, by the way. We are launching our on-site program again slowly, but we have two great classes that we're going to be offering fully on-site. One is PH 499, PH 699 real world lighting. And this is a new class. We wanted to create a class for students who have taken PH 608 and PH 112, quality of light, the intro, the basic lighting class. We want students to be able to come back into the studios onto location and work with our instructors again on site, but it will be a mix of students. So the prereq is that you have had to have taken PH 112 or PH 608. So everyone will have that basic lighting knowledge, but it will be a very fun survey of some specialty things: studio, location, a little bit of still life, some different things depending upon what you all want, and also portfolio driven. Like, this is going to be a portfolio driven class, and we wanted to create something again where students midway in the program could come back and get their hands back on lighting. Timothy, did you want to add anything about that?
Yeah, we are really excited about this class, and we really created it because the hunger that we all feel to be able to teach in person, and also for students to be in person, we wanted to create this class so that it would be open to all sorts of students and would allow you to work on, continue your path on what you're working on, but still, allow it to have the true electricity that comes when you are like in the room with your instructor and on location to some degree with your instructor. And Adrienne and I and Candace and Edwin have been brainstorming on how to structure this. And we will be out in the field, but it's not going to be elaborate locations necessarily. We wanted to do things that were all outside, that were where we could take advantage of the areas in San Francisco that are essentially wide open right now, like the trying to do something maybe in the financial district, possibly in Chinatown, in these areas that we can access easily and still create kind of lighting situations together to try to explore. So we're super excited about this. I think we realized it's going to be in demand. And so we really just created it as our first step getting out there into the world with this. I think that's what I have to share.
Yeah, it will have different instructors. It's not going to just be taught by one lighting instructor. So you'll probably have, this is TBD, so I don't want to have any exact instructor But what we're looking to do is have like an instructor, a lighting instructor teach a certain portion of the class, another lighting instructor teach a certain portion of the class, dependent upon their skill set. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I just checked, it's still not on the Open Reg yet. So Candace may have some knowledge about that there, about when exactly it's going to be available to sign up. No.
Still pending.
What?
It's still pending. I'll check back today.
Okay. So it should be coming anytime soon. And I know that some of you have been trying to enroll in that class that I've talked to about it, or, you know, other people have talked to, and the advisors are like, hey, what is this class? And because we had to develop it as a new class to give something to you all that we feel is super needed right now, it's just taking a while because we had to do a new outline, we had to do a write-up for it, etc. So it will be up very soon. And the next on-site class we will have in our traditional on-site format is the ADC class. Edwin, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Super excited to have ADC
Yes.
back on site. As you know, this is the only class that doesn't exist online, and it's because of the requirements to be in the studio. And if you are interested in learning all these modifiers plus being in an amazing studio, this is the class that you need to take on site. It is a very challenging class, but I highly recommend to everyone that hasn't taken it to enroll again or taking it with me, because you really get prepared to break into the industry and know how to work with real clients on set, how to work with the real tools that you can create commercial photo shoots. And it is definitely a class that add so many tools to your kit before you start working in the industry. So I highly, highly recommend it. And the greatest thing of taking it on site is that now you don't have to make your assignments at home. You mostly will be making your midterm and final on the studio within the 3 hours of the class, which is a huge challenge. But that's how the real world is. Studios are expensive and they only give you certain hours. So that's the whole idea, to replicate that experience of the real world. But yeah, everyone is welcome to enroll PH 325 and 658. I'm not sure if it will be separate, but most likely will be all one class together, MFA and BFA. And for those that are MFA, it will be a little bit extra challenge. It has a little bit more of a skill level, but yes, everyone is welcome. ABC
Edwin, I don't know if you said it, if I missed it, but can you, one, break down what ADC means, and two, let them know what the camera and the specialty equipment they'll be learning in that class is?
So ADC stands for Advanced Digital Capture. And what you learn in this class is all the medium format cameras workflow with Capture One. It also has a portion of the class where you learn the advanced lighting studio that we carry in the school, which is the brown color lighting. And all these mix prepare you specifically for commercial photo shoots, for fine art photo shoots. It could be this kind of like equipment that can be used for high-end photography. It is the best equipment we carry in the university, and you have access only if you enroll in this class. But it is definitely one of the coolest and most advanced courses to take. We carry the best cameras in the world in the university, and recently we purchased the fantastic Phase 1 IQ4, which is right now the high-end camera you can find in the industry with the highest resolution digital back. But not only that, you also learn how to use a Mamiya RC, how to use a 4x5 with digital bags. It's like a lot of different cameras that you learn through different techniques like flash duration, focus stacking, frame averaging, infinity amount of things. But yeah, welcome to take it.
So before we move on to facilities, actually, I think that this would be a good time to pause and just see if there are any questions about the summer virtual classes or the fall on site. Alexandra?
Hi, I just had a question. Could you please repeat what the requirements are for like to take both of these classes?
The prereqs for, yes, let me pull up okay, let me get back to that because I'm just gonna pull up the exact. Timothy, do you have our outline? Because we have the numbers listed for.
Oh,
You have our real
let me
world
look.
lighting outline.
Yeah, let me look for that as
Yeah,
we
we'll get
are
that.
doing this.
And then Edwin, do you have the prereqs for 325?
Well, my goal is that everyone takes advanced location lighting before taking my class. I'm not sure if that was approved, but that's how it's always been. So then the students are prepared for what is the last step before graduating.
It's
I
also
know
not a bad
that-
idea to take the Capture One class so that when you go into the ADC class, you already have a pretty good understanding of the software side of the process. It's not required, but it's a good class to take leading up to ADC.
Is highly recommended. Yeah, the students that I have enrolled this semester that already took Michael since Capture One class have been way more efficient in ADC than the ones that hasn't taken. So ADC and Capture One goes at the hand. So definitely.
Adrian, for real world lighting, for
Yeah.
under the requirements or prerequisites are PH 108, PH 112.
For undergrad, and the grad is
Grad is 608 and 603.
3. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Candace.
Okay, Tim and then Nick. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, I have two real quick questions. The first one's for Edwin. I took ADC last spring over Zoom, and the normal workshop for the phase ones wasn't able to happen because of virtual. Are you going to try to get that phase one weekend workshop to happen again? And if I'm not able to take ADC again this fall, because I'm going to try to, will past students that took it virtually be able to get in on the workshop?
Great question. So Capture One hasn't, and Phase One has not opened back the POCP Phase One certifications yet. So we are still waiting on their confirmation when these certifications will go back. As soon as they go back, that's 100% sure that everyone that hasn't get certified, they already have that space available for them. So as soon as I get a word from them, I'll definitely get back to you. And
Okay.
Your other question was about enrolling the class again. I think
Yeah.
that would be with Adrian. I would
Yeah,
love to have you
Adrian and I
back.
were talking about that.
Yeah. So that is something that I need to work with your advisor on. So
Okay.
I haven't talked with them yet, Tim. So
Sure.
remind me if I don't do that. Or why don't you do this? Send me a note to your advisor and me at the same time, and then we'll figure out if that's possible, like where you are in the program.
Awesome. Yeah, I can send her an email. I have a quick question for Michael. Are you going to be teaching Capture One this summer? I'm gonna because I am taking that with you, if you are.
Yes, I am slated to teach. If you're wanting to sign up for that, I suggest you do it now. It's almost full.
Yeah.
I think there's only one or two slots left.
I'm already locked in.
Okay.
Yeah, I just checked that. So that is definitely filling. So that's good. So those people can also go straight into ADC if they're ready, if they have the other requirements in fall, since
And
they will
then-
be ready.
Dean, I'll be emailing you regarding the workshops because we're working on setting those up. So as soon as we have that information ready, I will be emailing you. So then, I know focus stacking, flash duration, those works so much better on site. So I'll definitely will let you know how will that work in the fall.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, Nick, you had a question as well.
My question was answered. Thank you, Adrian.
Okay, cool. Okay, Jaden.
Okay, I have a few questions. So I want to be really excited about all of these like new classes happening, but it's like I still have so many other classes that I haven't been able to take because of COVID. Lighting classes are definitely like on top of that list. And so I'm just wondering like why we're not, or why we're focusing on new classes more so than classes that students keep having to postpone.
So the reason that we put this new lighting class is that because it could accommodate more people that want to come back on site. Jaden, if you haven't taken, have you taken quality of light yet?
I've taken quality of light, but it's like the location lighting class. And I think like there's so many that I haven't been able to take.
Yeah. So you should take the real world lighting class on site. The reason that we didn't do the specialty classes is because we have only a few, like a very limited number that we could offer on site to begin as we reopen. So we wanted to accommodate more students in that. So, well, I would love to just go back to our normal schedule. We just couldn't do it yet. So therefore I created this class that could sub out for one of your other lighting classes, but it will give this opportunity for people to come back into lighting wherever they left off. Because last March when we left, campus, people were just kind of, we all had to make things work in whatever capacity we were able to. So this will allow for different skill sets to come together and get reinvigorated. So that was the reason there. That is the only new class we created because of that reason. The advanced digital capture class, of course, is the only, is the other more advanced lighting class. That is a specialty class. But when we talked about it, we're like, that class has to run on site. It doesn't, beyond what we've done during this time, which has been super positive. But, we just decided this is the one that we need to bring back as well. So.
I know, sorry, another question really quick. I was wondering, you mentioned that there was a limited amount of classes that could be on site. I was just wondering where or who decides those numbers, because a lot of universities, even in the state of California, are opening up completely on site. And I'm just wondering like why we're not one of them.
Yeah, I think that would be a question for the student reps. Actually, I think Andrew's in the room. Yeah, Andrew's here. So I would say that, Andrew, has that been talked about in the student rep meeting? Why there's not a full reopening happening in fall?
They briefly touched on it. Yeah, the state did say that they're complete opening back up like next month, but I think it's more or less a debate of regional authorities. So not only the county and the city as well. So they acknowledge that argument that you brought up, but they're still trying to figure out like whether it be because of the debate of regional authorities or the school itself trying to figuring it out. And also when we had our meeting, I think if I remember right, we had our meeting, it was announced that stuff were open back up. And then the state said, yeah, fully open June. So it was just a whole timeline of stuff. So that's one of the reasons why it's like this, if that makes any sense what I just said.
Yeah, no, I understand, especially if it is like the state itself, but if it is the school, I was wondering if it would be possible or who I could reach out to in regard to like making a petition to have students say, hey, I want to come back, but you're kind of forcing us to either choose another university and transfer or take a year off, which no one really wants to do. But if we can't be completely on site, then that's a lot of those are the only options students really have to take. So do you guys know who I could reach out to about like how many signatures I would need or how to get that started?
I think, let me think, because I totally support you in doing that. I think that that's a totally valid concern and way of bringing the student voice to, the student voice out more. I think that, the person to ultimately bring that to would be Sue Rowley, who sits on the student rep meetings with Andrew. I don't know. Yeah,
It would be Raleigh, yeah.
it'd be Sue Rowley. So you know what you can do is you can email Sue and Trisha and ask them about that. I'm gonna put Trisha attorney. Oops, sorry, my voice typing thing is on. Okay. Trisha attorney is Sue's right-hand person, and she is an easy person to reach. Create T attorney at academyart.edu, and then Sue, and actually let me check these email addresses too, at academyart.edu. Sue Rowley. So they are the persons that attend the student rep meetings, and they can, they kind of have more background knowledge than we do because they're engaging with the state, et cetera, and, doing that kind of, getting that kind of information. So I'll just double check those. I think what would be good is to work with Andrew, since Andrew is the student rep, on getting that petition together, and we can help you figure out how to distribute that. I know that MPT has a survey going around that the students were asked to answer. So, there are other things like right now, which I think is really great.
Yeah, thank you. I'll
So
definitely.
let's have you email Trisha and Sue. Yeah, why don't you email Trisha and Sue and CC Andrew and Candace and me, so that we're all kept in loop on how to go forward with that.
All right, perfect. And then would I be able to have?
Sorry, my internet connection is unstable.
That's all right, mine too. Would I be able to have Andrew's email too? Or yeah,
Yes.
are you there? All right, thank you so much.
I have a quick question. My class went out a little bit late, so I didn't get to hear the beginning of this. Did you explain what real world lighting was and what would be happening in that class? Awesome. I will catch that in the replay then. And also, I just want to say thank y'all for everything that y'all have done to keep all of us safe with what you've done with the school. I really appreciate that.
You are welcome.
Oh, thank you all. Oh my gosh. I mean, this has been this has been a wild ride, but everybody is producing incredible work. And I know it's super hard to still be Zooming, by the way. Although I will say, for my students that were in class, we had some awesome work that was created for the final in my class that I just came out of. Yeah, so despite it all, I mean, y'all are producing amazing, amazing things. But yeah, we are here to support you, and I'm glad you feel that.
Okay, facilities, are we ready for that?
Perfect.
Okay, Edwin.
So this summer we are gonna be open. It's only gonna be 3 days a week. We are gonna be open during Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. only at our 625 Sutter location building. And for those interested in printing for summer, we have a specific schedule for these specific 4 days, and there are a specific single day fee for that. For the plans for the fall, we are still determining that schedule because things might change according to how things keep progressing. So we're definitely gonna have way more dates than that, definitely like more than the 5 days that we have right now, and possible more hours. So we're hoping that for the fall, we're gonna have a very nice, like old-fashioned schedule like we used to before. So don't worry, we got you covered.
All right, workshops in the fall.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to share that, you know, a lot of people have come to us and said that they are feeling the training lack because we haven't had our hands on equipment in so long, and that they were wondering if we could offer technical trainings or workshops, etc. So I just wanted to let you know that we are definitely going to be doing that in the fall. They will be on site. They will be trainings that primarily technical uh, things that students feel like they missed when they went off site, that they're really wanting to re-access some of that physical knowledge. So we will be working on that. We've all been talking about it in our photo team meeting, just the types of things that we would like to offer. I know some students have told me personally, like, oh, I would like a tutorial on this, or I would like a tutorial on that. So we can also send out, see, I'm trying to think of the best way of collecting that. If you have an idea of something you want right now, you can put it in the chat pod, but you can also email me and Candace just directly and say, hey, I want you all to have a 2-hour workshop in, I don't know, whatever it might be that you're feeling like you really missed, you know, during this time. So we are collecting that and we will start offering those in fall.
Okay, so I will turn the screen share off and let us be just one nice gallery and give everyone a chance to ask any questions they may have.
Hi.
All right, do we have any questions that were not answered during this?
I think Stanley had some questions that were in the chat. Can we address those?
Yes, Stanley asked.
Oh, it looks like Edwin has answered them. Yep.
Yeah, when and how do we pay the lab fees? Typically, the first day of school of every single semester, we send out an information packet that comes from the equipment room, and it gives you the step-by-step process for how to pay your fees. And it also gives you a list of what those fees are, but you typically pay it through your student self-service account. And as Edwin said, they're going to be $26 per day.
Yeah, and Stanley, and if you send us an email, we'll put you in the emailing list. So as soon as we have all those fees ready to go, we'll send you an email right away so you can start purchasing those fees and getting enrolled for the summer.
Okay, my question was more, I guess I didn't really specify my question, is do we have to purchase each day, or is it pre-purchase each day?
Okay, yeah.
At the beginning of the semester, or do we go as we get near those dates, we come in, we contact you and say, or we go on our student self-service and pay for the day that we want and then show up that day? How's it going to work, I guess?
So the student self-service account is set up to where you can enter the quantity. So if you know that you're going to be using the labs for 3 of the 4 days, for example, then you can put the quantity as 3, and then it'll give you the total, which would be 26 times 3. If you have any issues with that, or if the system has adjusted and something is different, even though that's been the same way for like 10 years, let me know and I'll help you through that process.
Yes.
Any more questions?
Kind of a question / statement, and Candace and Adrian, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to fall and summer, virtual on-site versus traditional on-site, they will veterans and GI Bill users will still get full benefits with that, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
Sorry, I was
That's
on
good
mute.
until
Yeah,
that's good until
Tim.
December 31st.
Okay, awesome. So make sure that
Sorry.
information's out there.
I just got all that information from my VA rep, so I wanted to make sure everybody gets it.
No, yeah, that's good. Thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up as well, Andrew, because we wanted to address the vets and the course fees. Just to kind of help explain things. So because every student was virtual for the past few semesters, we took the course fees off. Otherwise, we would have had to refund every single student who was not taking a class that they needed equipment for. So it was easier to not put the course fee on and then have the student pay if they needed access. And I know that that ultimately became an issue for some vets because they were unaware that it wasn't going to come out of their tuition that way. So just to be clear for everyone here and everyone listening, we will continue that way for the next 2 semesters unless you're taking, say, an on-site class or something like that. So please prepare ahead of time if you know that you need to use the equipment or you need to be on site to print or anything like that. Please go ahead and prepare, set aside. I think at the moment the largest fee is $175. So just go ahead and set that aside because that won't be a part of your tuition unless the course fee is attached to an on-site class. Any questions about that? Okay. Well, I think we're good, Adrian.
Cool. I hope that helps clarify. The other, I wanted to just go back for a minute and just say, if anybody needs help enrolling in any of these things, or you have further questions, kind of like what I said to Tim is email me and Candace, because then Candace makes sure that I get through all the emails, and then email me and Candace and your advisor, and then we can look through it and make sure that you can take the class, or if I need to do something to waive you or to waive sub it or something like that, I can help you with that. But also for the summer, there is, as I'm just looking at this right now. So Michael did mention, but Shot on Mobile and Capture One only have a few seats left in both of those. My senior project class, which is basically a BFA intensive project-based study. So for those of you who are working with me right now or who have worked with me on this, kind of what we do, you get to really focus in on one specialty project of your choice. And at the same time, we're going to be attending Timothy Archibald's Contemporary Topics lectures. So if anybody wants to enroll in that 488 class over the summer and really work intensely on one project, let me know. Even though it says senior project, you don't necessarily have to be a senior. So we could do that. And then Timothy's Contemporary Topics is the graduate version, similar yet different. Timothy, if you want to talk about that for the summer a little bit.
Sure. Contemporary Topics in Photography is my favorite class in the world. It is, except for senior project class, which is also my favorite class, and also location lighting. There's also no, it's a great class because it's 8 weeks and it's fast, and it's kind of like a parallel to what Adrian's doing, where it is the continuation of a project that maybe you've already begun or something that you want to dig deeper into. And last summer when we taught it for the first time, some people came into the class without a project, but we helped them find a project, and it moves fast. And it meets twice a week, but one day is about everyone's work. And then the second class is a guest artist. And it's 8 weeks. I think we have the budget for 6 guest artists, and we've got great people. Again, powered by Zoom. We got people from all over the world who are coming.
So cool.
So it's a neat class, which is creating and inspiration. And so, but then again, all those lectures will be open to everyone as well. And Adrian's students will be there. So it's always like a big creative explosion.
Super fun.
Adrian, we have a question from Stanley. So no info on fall until we are closer.
What does that mean exactly, Stanley?
Like no info on the classes, like what classes exactly will be offered on site and hybrid and all that until we are closer to fall.
Classes are listed right now, so you can enroll in classes. Edwin's Advanced Digital Capture class is going to be on site. It's not going to be virtual. this new lighting class, which is this, you know, this reinvigoration into being back together with lighting class is currently, it's probably going to be up by the end of this week. So you can enroll in that. So you can enroll in classes. I mean, we're pretty good. There will be some adjustments in fall. And, you know, to Jaden's point, if they said, oh, you can offer another on-site class, we're going to jump at the opportunity and do that. But for now, this is what I've told you is exactly what we are offering, and you can and should enroll now.
I want to reiterate what Adrian just said. There's such a important element to registering as soon as possible. The school is constantly monitoring the enrollment in the classes. And as we start getting closer, for example, closer to summer, if one class only has one student, we can't run a class with one student. So you registering as soon as possible is super, super important. So please reach out to me to schedule an appointment with Adrian or Timothy if you have more questions. If you need to work out your schedule and need somebody to take a look at it, reach out as soon as possible to get that set up so that you can get in your class before there's any issues.
Yeah, and then also the things like, you know, what Michael mentioned, there are some classes that are filling. So we need you to, one, reserve your spot, and two, make sure we can run the class, you know, because otherwise, as Candace mentioned, then we can't run it. So that's about that's the reality for now. Janelle.
Forgive me, I'm not sure how to word this, but I'm signed up for location lighting, and in my mind, I'm seeing a lot of lighting equipment for that class. I don't think I'm wrong, but if there's no lab fee included, we're going to then have to pay out of pocket if you're a military benefit user. You're still going to have to sign up for that and use those.
Correct.
And there's no way to get that included since it's normally part of the tuition for those that do have that benefit.
No. So the way we normally run it, and this is just for today, if you have a major issue with it, we can talk to Adrian and you know, the executive office and kind of figure something out. But the way we run it is we don't put a course fee on a virtual class because most students are in Texas, New York, wherever. So they're not going to be on site using our equipment. So it's much easier in general to have you pay the fee than to have to refund everyone who's not.
I understand that. But I did notice when I went to register that they are listed this time and they weren't the last 2 semesters. So I felt pretty secure that they were included. And now I registered yesterday and I don't know, I have to consider it. That's all.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 classes with, you know, $175. So
yeah. No, I'm so glad that you all brought that point to our attention, because when we, you know, made this decision, which we thought could benefit a majority of students that were going into the virtual realm, we also realized that created an issue for our other students. So we need to know these things because, you know, we always have to weigh that because we're always trying to do the best for you all. But then there's, you know, all these different circumstances. So it is something that we've been talking about, trying to figure out how to make it the best we can for the most of our, you know, for our population.
Janelle, if that proves to be an issue, please email me your schedule. And that way, Adrian and I, when we have our weekly meetings, we can take a look at it and see if there's anything else to be done. But as we said, like Adrian just said, we're trying to do the best for the most students.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't really have a question, but Adrian, you're saying for workshops, I would love to have a workshop for traditional film processing. It was a fun class, but I feel like I missed a lot of good stuff with Connie if it could be in person.
Okay.
That's an excellent one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Yes.
You know, and with that, just to go off of that, I do want to let's stress this idea of these workshops, because when we all had to shift to Zoom, you know, we decided to try to get, you know, guest speakers in and do these various things that we could do. And now it's like the opposite, where I think we're
Yeah.
trying to create these things that can bring us together again and allow for this in-person education to happen again. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, we have ideas of things that we think are needed, but you know, Nick, I wouldn't have thought about that as doing
Yeah.
something in that. And so speak up and share these things with Candace and Adrian, you know, once you
Yeah.
think about it, and we can
Awesome.
make these things happen. And we're as eager to get human interaction happening in
Yeah.
6.5 Sutter as anyone is, you know.
Totally.
Well, Timothy, since you just opened that door,
Yeah.
one more I can throw it away. Location lighting, that's another amazing class, but on Zoom it was terrible. So I'm not gonna be in the lighting class, but John just boasts about going on location with students and setting up lighting location and just helping us work on our workflow. And
Yeah.
like, I miss that, you know, that experience with them. So I think that'd be another cool workshop.
So we're going to be doing that in the 499 real world lighting. We're going to be doing locations. Just FYI. So that will be a major part of that class. They won't be like far, they're going to be local locations. We're going to stay in the city, but we're going to definitely emphasize that because nothing replaces working hands-on with a situation with people around you. It just is how it is. So that's part of that class for sure.
You know, and I guess I would add that I think probably we are all disappointed that it isn't totally on site in the fall,
Yeah.
you know. And so I hear that, I feel that too.
Yeah.
But I do think our attempts to deal with these workshops, and that's why I want you all to speak up, is to start, you know, that tiny snowballing up, you know, effect with that. So speak up with that, and we can try to, like, you probably don't have the class you want in the fall, you know.
Yeah.
So speak up, and we'll try to create these kind of, you know, real life experiences that can maybe hint at that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Tim, because like for someone like me where I'm really compressing my schedule, there's a lot of classes that I would love to take, but I'm like, oh, this class is at this time and then they conflict. So like workshops would be a really good workaround, I feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that, you know, in the past there were some, and then we sort of stopped doing them, and then we would do specialty ones, like when Michael would do his caterpillar stitch,
his bookmaking,
yeah, like different specialty things like that, because we had the full range on site. But now it's like, oh, we don't have this, so we're going to bring back all these other smaller resources, and they're not like classes you have to pay for. It's like, you know, included. It will just be these little blips of super awesome information that's hands-on that you all want, and we can start, you know, getting back together to do these things. So it's something that we're definitely excited about and will be a lot of fun. You know, it's going to be fun. Yeah.
All right, last chance to ask questions before we wrap up. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you everybody for coming. So good to see you all.
Great to see
Enjoy this.
everybody.
Yeah, have a good rest of your week. Hey, Jacob.
Here.
Yeah, enjoy this last week of school.
Happy end of the semester.
Oh my goodness. Woo.
It went by quick though. Like it went by really fast for me at least.
Oh my
I was
gosh,
like, okay,
crazy.
we're at the end already. What is this?
Yeah, totally crazy. You all are great. Thank you so much for your thoughts, contributions, surveys, petitions, all the things. We love it all, and it's great to be able to support you in whatever ways we can. So we're here for you. Bye.
Bye-bye.